for standings. I'm Dave Lamont, joined by Gerard Ward, and everybody's chasing Texas Southern right now.
Well, they sure are, but these two teams know how important this game is tonight. It's a big game to set up pretty much what they're going to do the rest of the year. They don't want Southern, if you're Jackson State, you don't want Southern to get too far away from you. And if Southern, you want to make sure that you continue to try to separate yourself from the rest of the bunch.
And who knows, they may meet again in the conference championship game in Houston like they did a year ago.
Just a phenomenal game for both teams. Back and forth they went, trading baskets. Big game for Traylon Banks, and also won the most valuable player of the tournament with 19 points for Southern.
There he is, and here we are. Southern and white. Glenn Tewitt, Bill Humes, and Bharat Ramanan is our officiating crew for tonight. We're underway with Jackson State controlling the tip.
Southern is known for their stingy defense. They're out playing man-to-man.
And we're seeing one of the Ironmen. In fact, we've got 4 guys in the top 10 of the SWAC in minutes played. Handling the ball right now for Jackson State. Yethryn Specs is one of them, and they turn it over.
Well, that's one thing that both coaches talked about, is making sure they limit their turnovers. And right out the gate, Jackson State turns the ball over. Great drive.
Sean Prudhomme, 6'4" senior forward. Number 2 in the conference in scoring.
He has really come on this season. Last year his role wasn't to be a scorer, was more a facilitator, but this year he's been doing a much better job of scoring the basketball.
Specs, tough little drive, the floater, no good. Rebound goes the other way, Chris Thomas.
Tough shot by Specs, but Jackson State knows that how Specs goes or plays, and that's pretty much how they go. They definitely want to get him off to a good start here early.
Edric Guinness hit with that foul, his first. So out of bounds here for Southern, and a fresh shot clock.
I'll tell you, Yethryn has almost doubled his scoring average from last year. Last year he averaged about 6 points a game, 6.5, and this year he's averaging about 13.5. Great low post move.
And a turnover there by Specs. It looked like he stepped on the out of bounds line. So a big mistake, and Southern will get it early. Here's Roman Banks, the Southern head coach in his 6th season, taking his team to the NCAA tournament 2 times as conference champions. Off the double, open shot for LaQuentin Collins, and he hits the 3.
Nice ball moving by Southern. That's something that they pride themselves on, is sharing the basketball, and great shot by Collins.
Specs slipped and luckily got up in time to get that pass. Roscoe inside, and a big basket from Derek Roscoe.
Surprisingly, both teams have come out very poised, very patient on the offensive end. And that's a good sign.
One correction, by the way, we showed you Wayne Brent on the Jackson State sidelines. There is Roman Banks.
Coach Banks has done a phenomenal job here in his tender.
He worked him hard today. You know, today was not a 45-minute giggle shoot around. Let's shoot some free throws and walk through some plays. They went about 90 minutes.
You're exactly right. He works extremely hard. And that's what he wants to see, though. He wants his players to come out and be extremely aggressive from opening tip. And so far, they're off to a good start.
And he wanted intensity in the opening moments for his team, and he appears to have gotten it. There was a good basket inside, though, and Jackson State rallying after the quick 7-0 Southern start.
In the first matchup at Jackson State, that's an area that Jackson State really hurt Southern, was on the inside. They took advantage of Southern using their size.
And a one and done that time as Specs comes away with a rebound. Specs handles the ball, pretty much runs this entire Jackson State offense. 36 minutes a game he is averaging, and when we talked to Wayne Brent about that, he says, I'll play him 40 if I have to.
Specs is Mr. Durable, but he understands his role, and he's accepted it, and he's excelling extremely well. And on cue, Specs steps up and knocks down a nice little 3-point shot.
Not too many times do you see a blocked shot lead to a 3, but it did that time. We've had competing 7-0 runs. That was a brick, but the offensive rebound, and that one is missed inside. Jackson State almost threw it away, but Paris Collins slowed it down.
Not the shot you want if you're Roman Banks. Traylon can get any type of shot he wants. Just make sure he's swinging the ball around, playing within the offense.
That's a very difficult off-balance shot. The rebound going to be controlled here by the Southern Jaguars.
Where from time to time, you'll see both teams kind of get a little out of control and be uncharacteristic on doing certain things. Both coaches were saying that they would really hope that both teams to start this late in the season become more aware of who they are.
Paris Collins with another rebound, Gerard. He is not 100% healthy. You see he is taped up on his left arm. He has that KT tape that's so popular now among athletes and even weekend athletes. SWAC preseason all-conference player, number 5. As Specs gets off a tough shot, rims out, rebound, going to go to Jared Sam, the big man for Southern.
Well, to your point, Paris not 100% healthy, but he brings a lot of energy to Jackson State. Great drive by Chris Thomas.
We have LaQuentin Collins on the other end for Southern. Collins trapped in the corner and gets rid of it. Specs. Roscoe, nice move in the air there by Roscoe.
Nice find. Good move by the big fella.
All over the rim and a friendly bounce for Sean Prudhomme.
Two-time player of the week. That's really played strong this year. Twice this year he's scored over 30 points.
Talk about Ironman in the SWAC with Specs. He's 4th in the conference in minutes played. Traylon Banks, there's a 3-ball for Collins. That's Paris Collins. Traylon Banks is 3rd in the conference in minutes, 2nd in the conference in minutes played, and Jared Sam is 6th in the conference in minutes played. We'll step aside, back and forth in this battle.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by eBay. Find new, unique, and everything in between on eBay. And in part by Samuel Adams, Pursue Better, and the new Volkswagen Golf Alltrack, soon to be everywhere.
Welcome back. This is Big Monday, presented by eBay. This is all part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. We're in Baton Rouge for this SWAC matchup. Jackson State with the early lead on Southern, but these teams have gone back and forth, each with 7-0 runs at one point. With Gerard Ward, who left his Tom Brady jersey at home. He is a Michigan man, but he's pretty proud. I'm Dave Lamont. What have you seen in this first few minutes?
Well, I've seen both teams come out and execute really well. That's something that they talked about and shoot around. That they wanted to come out tonight and execute and then rebound the basketball, and so far so good. You don't want to get into a helter-skelter, getting up and down and turning the ball all over the place, because then you're going to have poor shooting.
Both teams and both coaches talked about starting intensely. Have you seen that tonight?
Very much so, especially on Southern side. Both teams came out with a lot of energy.
There is Wayne Brent in his 4th season as the head coach for the Tigers, Jackson, Mississippi. They had a tough loss on Saturday night. Southern had a dramatic win over Grambling, getting a bucket in the final seconds and then holding on while Grambling had not one but 2 chances to steal the game, but did not.
Well, you know, Jackson State has been plagued by injuries all year long, and they only have 6 roster players under scholarship, and so they're kind of working shorthanded, but they've still been doing extremely well, playing tough and trying to stay in the hunt.
Second shot opportunity, in fact, really a 3rd opportunity there for Southern goes in, and they take the lead back.
Great job by Sam, just staying active, staying after it, giving Southern a 2nd and 3rd chance opportunity.
Maurice Rivers into the game. He touched it there, number 12 in the blue. And there's a 3-ball from Collins. Beautiful follow through. He is a 31% three-point shooter, and he's nailed 2 already.
Well, for a guy who's not particularly known for his outside shooting, he has come in tonight and extremely hot.
Chris Thomas off a perfectly executed play by the Jaguars, and we're even at 15.
Well, I'll tell you, Collins came back in his first and second games, and he played extremely well for Jackson State. He went 6 for 12 from the 3-point line, so he's definitely capable of shooting the basketball.
And Paris Collins, it took a flip. It looked like he was completing a gymnastics routine. There'll be a foul on Southern here.
Well, they allow him to bring that high energy, and that really gets the team going. When Collins come out and he does what he does. I mean, he likes to get underneath the other team's best player's skin, and then on the offensive end, he's going to give you all he got.
There's yet for Specs over to Paris Collins. Dennis flashing free, contested three, off the side of the rim, rebound. Roscoe playing aggressively, his shot is sent back, but scrambled by Jackson off of, oh, it's going to belong to Jackson State. Specs saved the play there, and with 25 to shoot, Jackson gets it.
Well, tough contested shot by Dennis, and great rebound by Roscoe, but Sean Prudhomme was right there on top of things. Big block.
That got the crowd touched wild. And they're going to call traveling there on Roscoe. Just a little bit of contact with Jared Sam, and he just fell to the floor.
Well, Roscoe has the ability to put the ball on the floor. He also has the ability to step out and shoot it from 19, 20 feet. Just that time he got a little bit out of control. He probably should have passed the ball. He held it a little bit too long.
And a little bit out of control for Southern, so Specs leads it the other way for the Tigers. And a wise decision by Dennis. He wanted to rip the rim down. He couldn't do it. And Banks has it now for Southern.
Great transition defense by Southern. That's something they talked about in the scouting report, making sure they can get back on defense. And they're doing a great job.
Game getting a little wild here. Players to the floor. And it'll be a foul against Jackson State.
Well, you want to be aggressive, and this is one way of doing it. Attacking the ball, the basket strong. Great rebound by Southern to initiate the break, and it led for Sam on the other end to come up with an opportunity to shoot from the stripe.
Maurice Rivers hit with his first personal foul. Southern already with 3 blocks. They average close to 4 a game. And Jared Sam, 64% foul shooter, 8th in the conference in scoring, 1st in the conference in field goal percentage, 5th in the conference in rebounds.
Sam has himself a heck of a year, much improved player, and that's what they're going to need from this young man as they move forward, to stay consistent.
Cam's couple of free throws there. So after each team had 7-0 runs, the game has settled in. We'll get a holding call here. I think we're going to get LaQuentin Collins. Yeah, it looked like he had a grab hold of the arm of a Jackson State player.
Every time these two teams meet, you're going to see exciting basketball. They're going to go back and forth. One team not giving to the other team, and that's exactly what we're seeing tonight.
That's a travel. Rivers caught there. That's 5 turnovers against Jackson State.
Rivers was in the position to just to catch and shoot. He got a little bit too excited. I mean, he didn't realize how open he was.
Little floater, missed off the glass. Every rebound is contested with these teams.
Both teams are doing a great job of contesting shots.
And you see Roscoe got a hand on an offensive rebound, then gets it back. Missed Rivers, who was briefly open underneath. Instead, a stroke from Specs for 3.
Great looking shot by Specs. Just stepped right into his shot, right in rhythm. Those are the best shots when you can catch the ball in rhythm.
Off the side of the rim, rebound to Maurice Rivers. And Specs slowing it down.
Controlling tempo was one of the keys to victory tonight for Jackson State.
Rivers was patient and got the whistle.
Knowing when to run and when to slow it down, and Jackson State is off to a great start. Yetur Specs, one of the top scorers in the league, is doing it tonight.
Ah, yeah. Doubleheader night. East Coast, West Coast. But which is the best coast? In the East, one of sports' greatest rivalries. But then there's the edge of your seat, West Coast. You know what? Don't worry. You don't have to choose. We're going coast to coast, baby. 'Cause we gon' blow your mind.
So in other words, just settle in, Gerard, and you don't have to do anything but maybe get up and get something to eat.
A couple storybook programs. I mean, when rivalry week kicks in, you pretty much can throw the records out the window because people are going to go extremely hard. I mean, It's all about pride at that point.
We've had already 3 ties and 7 lead changes, and these guys have seen them all. And I'm not sure what the Blues Clues pause have to do with anything. Well, the Jaguar pause.
Well, I love the fact that Southern has done a really good job on the interior. 12 points in the paint, and that's an area that they struggle with in the first game.
Pretty even all the way around here statistically. 50% for Southern, 46.7% shooting for Jackson State. Jackson State red hot early from 3, 4 out of 6. So at the line, here's Maurice Rivers. Came off the bench, grabbed a couple of rebounds already, and a steal.
Maurice is a guy who truly understands his role. He comes in the game and he just plays extremely hard. I mean, he leaves nothing left in the tank, and that's something that Coach Brett really and his coaching staff really is proud to have a player like that on his team.
Traylon Banks, I guess, got a little nicked up there, so they had to tape his hand, the blood rule. So now we're going to get Rivers at the line. Got that to crawl home.
As you can see, Collins is Mr. Energetic, always positive with his teammates, encouraging them, and that's a great sign of leadership.
That lane opened up. Roscoe was a little bit late on the rotation, but the layup is missed. Look at the speed there, and a quick shot from Javaris Brent. Put back once, no good. Tap down, and Brent will get it. So Brent getting some playing time today. Does not get a lot, but he is a good three-point shooter.
Well, we heard in practice yesterday, and we heard it in shoot-around today, rebound, rebound, rebound. And if you give a team a second and third chance opportunity, it only spells for disaster.
Rivers turns it around, and suddenly Jackson State has their largest lead at 5. They beat Southern earlier this year at Jackson State. And the real importance of this game is positioning for the conference tournament.
Well, you're exactly right. You know that we all know that if you're in the top 4, you get a home game instead of going on the road, and that's something that both of these teams would like to be in that position of 1 through 4.
Right now, Southern is in that position. They are the defending conference champions. The 2 bottom teams in the SWAC will not be invited to the tournament. We'll have a foul away from the ball, going to go against Southern. And that'll be on Jamarcus Weatherspoon, his first, number 22, into the game.
Weatherspoon is another athlete who just comes in the game. He's very athletic, but he truly understands his role. I mean, you'd love to have a team full of players who understand their role and go out and try to execute to the best of their ability.
Roscoe out, Middleton back in for the Tigers. Specs, he's not coming out.
Quick shot by Specs. I think he could have got a better shot than that.
But another rebound for Jackson State on the offensive end.
And once again, I said it before, that's an area that they excelled in their first meeting.
Well, they have 8 second chance points. The door finally got shut that time when Weatherspoon got the rebound.
Nice patient, nice ball movement by the Jaguars.
That shot a little strong, and high rebound there by Brent. Went way up for that. I would think if you're Wayne Brent, by the way, no relation to Javaris Brent, you can get anything productive out of your bench, knowing how hard you've worked your players and how few players actually play. What a bonus that is.
Well, you're exactly right. You want to get bench production no matter if you're the Tigers or the Jaguars, but you're exactly right. And Coach Brent, with a team that's been hampered with injuries, can get any production, especially from a walk-on, you're going to be extremely happy.
6 turnover on Jackson State. Oh, nice little touch that time on the finger roll by Weatherspoon.
Weatherspoon just showing you a little bit of his athleticism. Another one of those guys. I mean, there's a team full of athletes, and that's why you don't want to get into a running game with Southern if you're Jackson State.
Jen Specs just drove right down the center.
Way too easy. Miscommunication on defense by the Jaguars.
Did a good job defensively as well and forced the second turnover against Southern.
Well, right now you see the Jaguars are doing some things without purpose, and it always will get you in trouble. You have to know what you're doing on the court, you have to know why you're doing it, and you have to know when to do it.
Edric Dennis coming back in here for Jackson State, and Collins will check out. Rivalry week continues tomorrow with an SEC Big Ten doubleheader at 7 o'clock. LSU takes on number 15 Kentucky. Followed at 9 Eastern with a matchup that dates back to 1909, Michigan State and Michigan. Super Tuesday presented by CenturyLink on ESPN, streaming live on our app and on Watch ESPN.
Well, I like to call it payback time. If we Big Blue Nation, Michigan lost to Michigan State a couple days ago, and I'm sure they're licking their chops to get right back at it.
However, and I am obligated because it was printed on a card, to mention that Michigan State has won the last 5 meetings.
That they have, but I'm going to err on the side of optimism.
So that's the difference between you and I. I err on the side of pessimism.
Well, as an alum of Michigan, I'm going to ride and die with those puppies every time.
Well, they had a tough loss on Saturday to the Buckeyes, so they see if they can come back against Sparty.
Rebuilding year for us, I like to say.
Jackson State maintaining the lead as we get ready for a mandatory timeout under 8 minutes.
I'm extremely impressed with the patience that I've seen both teams display tonight.
Shot blocked by Weatherspoon. Ball knocked out of bounds will belong to Southern, and now we will take that break. Jackson State
by Weatherspoon.
Getting some contributions from the bench. Jamarcus Weatherspoon with a big block. On Thursday, ESPN has a big-time rivalry week doubleheader starting at 8 Eastern. The latest in the North Carolina Duke drama, followed by Oregon, UCLA, 2 top 10 programs in the poll that just came out today. That's at 10 o'clock Eastern. Both of these Sonic blockbuster games also streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. With Jerron Ward, I'm Dave Lamont, our ESPN crew here in Baton Rouge, and there is our score and time, 7:50 remaining with Jackson State up by 1. Yetra Specs not disappointing us here, Gerard, with 8 points so far.
Absolutely not. Although this team shoots 30% from the three-point line, they're not going to be shy from shooting and knocking down the long ball. That's something that they do often. Specs has got off to a great start. He's knocked down a few on the outside. He's been able to knife his way into the hole as well.
And you see what he and Paris Collins have done. Now, Collins is checking back into the game following the timeout, number 5 in blue.
2 guys who had a very, very important role last year in that run to the conference finals,
where they were defeated narrowly by Southern, who went on to the NCAA tournament. Right now, everybody's chasing the team out of Houston, Texas Southern, atop the SWAC standings at 9-1.
And it seemed like it'd be the case every year. Offensive
foul coming up here. The charge will go against Southern's Brendan Ganaway.
Great thought process by Ganaway. He's just trying to get to the basket and try to draw and dish, but a little bit out of control. You got to stop and, pull up a little bit shy. Maybe shoot the floater. That's something that coaches was talking to him today in practice, something they definitely tried to go over and shoot around as well.
Edric Dennis, who drew the foul, and you can see very clearly he was outside that restricted area, so that did appear to be the correct call. Roscoe underneath, back to Middleton. They work it around to Specs, who almost split the double team. Now Collins fires a 3, misses everything, but the rebound goes back in. Another offensive rebound for the Tigers, this time Middleton.
Well, poor shot by Collins, but great job by Middleton being in the right place at the right time.
That has happened a lot tonight against Southern, giving up second and third shots even in possession. Little baseline Jay, back of the rim, no good. Wins a 1 shot this time. The rebound to Collins.
Well, when you're a team that struggles from the field, sometimes your best offense is the rebound. So you want to shoot the basketball just to get it up and then go after the rebound.
Collins took a hard ball off to our left. He is back up now. That's a short 2 for Derek Roscoe. Not sure what caused Collins to fall, but he seems to be okay as he chased that pass. And we're going to get another charge drawn by Middleton.
I tell you what, great job by Middleton getting back in transition, but great job by Jackson State Diggs these two guys, if they can be productive for Jackson State, then Jackson State feel they can have a chance of competing for that championship in Houston.
That was a block.
I agree with you. I think he was still moving, but
yeah.
you know, the officials saw it another way.
2 on Witherspoon. He will go to the bench. Of course, we had a chance to look at it on replay. That's where I could make the call. I didn't have to make the call when it happened.
Sometimes it's hard to kind of tell when it's real time if a player was positioned or not.
Coming up to the 6-minute mark. Baseline left open. Little contact there. A 6th block shot by Southern. Knocked out of bounds and will belong to the home team.
I didn't like the drive by Dennis. I thought he had nowhere to go and appeared to get himself in trouble, and that's exactly what happened. Swing the ball around, continue to swing the ball around, continue to be patient, and you'll pretty much get to think anything you want.
About a 2.5-minute drought here for Southern. Right about now at the 2:30 mark. Baseline drive, and that ends that drought. A beautiful use of the body by Emmanuel Shepard, who's a Canadian.
Big time move by Shepard. Another high hopeful for the Southern Jaguars.
Out of Toronto area, averaging 5 points coming off the bench for Roman Banks. Roscoe, 3-ball, no good. And there's one of the rare uncontested rebounds in this game.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things that go into winning basketball games, and being attentive to details is one of them.
Prudhomme got hit. He'll go to the line, and he'll get to shoot 3. That foul on Paris Collins is his first.
Nice catch by Shepard. Just kind of caught Roscoe off balance, didn't give him a chance to set on defense, and then Prudhomme just catch, shoot, and Collins just a little bit too aggressive.
Prudhomme 65% from the line. A lot of spin on that. Averaging 17 points a game is Prudhomme, second in the SWAC. Very good three-point shooter. You see what he's done the last 6 games, and as Gerard mentioned, he's had some huge games this year. But right at the moment, he can't buy a free throw.
Well, he's having a phenomenal season. It's not too often that you'll see Prudhomme struggle from the field or the line on a consistent basis. This guy who you can definitely count on night in and night out.
Maurice Rivers is checked back in. Roscoe out for Jackson State, and he'll get 1 out of 3. Not surprisingly, a close game. The game in Mississippi was close last month. Jackson State prevailed.
You know, I think Southern is a team that Jackson State feels, and Southern for that matter, that they can match up, you know, pretty well with.
Shepard hit with a foul.
You see Coach Banks is disgusted with that play, or that call. Doesn't particularly like it.
It was away from the ball. I didn't see it either. And now we're into the bonus with Rivers. 1-1.
Well, he's trying to say that Rivers initiated the contact.
See, Roman Banks, we mentioned those 2 NCAA tournament appearances. He also has a conference title in there. They did not go to the NCAAs that year. They didn't win the conference tournament.
It's a remarkable job for Coach Banks, who also is the assistant athletic director.
Jackson State was waiting for that. Good defense there. Ball knocked away, then picked back up by Prudhomme. Traylon Banks. Had a mismatch underneath with size, but now they're running out of time, and timeout has been called with 5 seconds on the shot clock.
It's just an outstanding job by Jackson State. Continue to mix up the defense, playing really aggressive, getting their hands in the passing lane, and then doubling down when they have to.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2017 John R. Wooden Player of the Year.
.422 remaining. Jackson State with a narrow lead over Southern, 32-26, and Southern's got to get Traylon Banks going. He has missed a couple of shots, does have 3 assists. We talked about what is critical about this game. As Gerard mentioned, the bottom 2 teams are not invited to the tournament. The top 4 will host first-round games, and then it's off to Houston. So at the moment, Southern is narrowly ahead of Grambling, who they beat Saturday. But here's Jackson State right on their heels with a win on them already in hand, and Prairie View sitting at 5-5 as well.
Well, 1, Jackson State, you want to stay in the race, and then 2, if anytime you can sweep a team, you want to sweep a team, and Jackson State has not swept Southern since the 2010-2011 season.
Well, Emmanuel Shepard with that shot cuts it to a 2-point advantage for Jackson State. Some token pressure by Southern. You can see that Banks bothered a little bit by the tape on his left hand. He had a cut that they had to cover, and he was just adjusting that tape as the ball was being inbounded.
Well, they quickly taped it at one point, and then they retaped it because it was bothering him a little bit. Let's see if it helps him out a little bit.
Goes into traffic and gets taken down. There's a couple of people who could be called for the foul on that one. Might be Paris Collins. If it is, that's going to be 2. Nope, it's not going to be Collins.
Nice aggressive drive by Banks, but no one stopped the basketball. He was able to get all the way to the basket way too easy.
Maurice Rivers gets a second foul. That's going to bring Derek Roscoe off the bench after this free throw. Banks leads the SWAC in assists. He already has 3 tonight. And Roscoe has checked in.
You know, Traylon has had to step into a different role this year. Last year he had guys around him that pretty much handled the ball for primarily the most of the time. And he was able just to kind of float around and get things out of the offense. This year, by him being the primary ball handler, it really has changed his game, but it's something that he welcomed.
Contact, and it's going to be an offensive foul and a hook being called on Derek Roscoe. So we're seeing a lot of calls now away from the ball. That'll be the first foul on Roscoe.
Well, you want to keep your turnovers down, and you definitely don't want to have unforced turnovers. That's something that you can control. Roscoe was just a little bit too aggressive. just gliding to the basket.
Southern up by 2. We have a minute to go right now. Oh, Euro step around by Dennis. Gorgeous move, and we're tied.
Well, Dennis is their leading scorer, and it's great to see this young man has finally made his imprint on this game. Three ball. Nice shot by Thomas, catching the ball in rhythm and knocking it down.
We're going to have that use it or lose it timeout taken with 23.4 to go. 5 ties and 11 lead changes already.
Well, Jackson State a little bit out of control. And on the other end is Mr. Prudhomme gliding to the basket. And then you can see moving the ball around from side to side, you always can get a good shot. And the recipient that time, is none other than Chris Thomas stepping into a wide open 3.
Well, you know what's coming up on ESPN tonight at 11 o'clock? Sports Center with Bucci and Anderson. They'll have a lot of college basketball, NBA, and NHL highlights, and a little bit more about Super Bowl 51. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. The band arrived. I was waiting for them, and they made their entrance. So 23.4 to go. Shot clock is off. You see Chris Thomas has stepped into the scoring void left by Traylon Banks.
Great sign for Southern to make a little run here before the half to kind of get the crowd involved, get this game back under control. For a while, it seemed like they had fell asleep, and Jackson State was doing a good job of executing.
3 to shoot here. Collins does find an open shot. It doesn't go. So very intense first half. Both coaches wanted that kind of intensity, and they got it. You see there 5 ties and 11 lead changes. Coming up after the break with Karl Ravech, Seth Greenberg, and Jay Williams. They're in studio with a halftime report. Southern up by 3.
You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
In Baton Rouge, 37-34 Southern, and they've done it with some of the best shooting they've had all season, almost 56% in the first half. And they've also taken advantage of Jackson State mistakes with 11 points off of turnovers. Jackson State, on the other hand, has been pummeling the offensive boards, but they turned the ball over 8 times, too. Gerard Ward, Dave Lamont here. So what do you look for in the second half?
Well, I look for Jackson State to calm down and kind of get off to the start that they got off to in the early part of the game. They came out and they were extremely hot from the field. Came out passing the ball around, sharing the ball, being extremely patient, but then knocking down the open baskets. And then as the quarter went on, they started getting a little bit uncharacteristic, doing things that they should not be doing, getting themselves into dangerous situations. And then Southern, on the other hand, they started to turn things up. Traylon Banks got it going. Sean Prudhomme got it going a little bit as well for Southern. And then surprisingly, maybe not be surprised for most, but Chris Thomas really heated up for the first half, and he's one of the leading scorers in the game.
Take a look at that turnover column for Southern. They average 14 a game. They're well below that pace right now, and points off turnover is critical. Jackson State, we talked about their shooting, their rebounding, and Jackson State has missed their last 7 threes. They at one point were 4 for 6.
As I mentioned, they got off to an extremely hot start. Kind of cooled off there at the end, but as Specs goes, Jackson State goes, and then Chris Thomas, he's doing a phenomenal job at just being aggressive tonight and trying to be that X factor for Southern.
So we'll begin with Southern inbounding the ball. Trying to go to 7-4 in the SWAC and push Jackson State to below 500 in conference play. And there's 3 other games in the SWAC. All started before ours. And we'll update you a little bit later on in this half on how those games have gone and how it will affect the SWAC standings. Thomas into traffic, got tied up. They were looking for a jump ball call. Jackson State comes out with it. Here's Paris Collins. Specs used his arm rather nicely there to get by. Middleton gets the easy rebound, and once again, more second chance points for the Tigers.
Well, great job by Southern getting back in transition, but then it was a breakdown in the defensive assignment by allowing Specs to get all the way to the rim, uncontested, and then not boxing out. Middleton was able to come up with the offensive rebound, and that's something Jackson State is doing extremely well tonight. They have 9 offensive rebounds to Southern's 2.
So Jared Sam will go to the line to shoot a couple. That foul, lead charge to Janarius Middleton. That'll be his second.
Jared has had some big games this year. Much improved free throw shooter, I may say.
Well, he's knocked down another. He's 4 for 4 from the line. And he's taken as many free throws as Maurice Rivers for Jackson State, who's also 4 for 4.
Southern with a little three-quarter press.
Ooh, that almost was turned over, but it left Dennis open for 3. Another rebound for Middleton on the offensive end, and finally Sam clears it.
What I do like about Jackson State bigs, when they rebound the basketball, they keep the ball up and away from the smaller defenders and guards.
Edric Dennis at 6'3", went up and got that rebound. Specs to Collins. Roscoe setting up in the pivot, can't get it to him. Now they do. Beautiful. That's a big flush and an assist to
Great
Collins.
setup by Collins and dish to Roscoe. Big time move.
Quick fire 3, and to the bottom of the net goes Traylon Banks.
And everyone knows that Traylon Banks has to have a good game in order for Southern to have a chance to win. He's one of those 3 that I mentioned. The other 2 are Sam and Jared. They have to step up and have really big games for Texas Southern on a nightly basis. Excuse me, Southern on a nightly basis.
That would have been an and 1, as it was a touch foul against Banks by Yetra Specs.
Great drive and dish, and big time flush by Derek Roscoe.
So we'll see Banks at the line. Mentioned second in most minutes played in the SWAC. Yetra Specs leads the conference in that category. Banks with 7 points now and 5 assists.
Well, the assist category, he's done much, much better this year. A lot of that had to do with his role change. As far as his scoring points, he's pretty much on average. He's pretty much doing the same thing he did last year. It just doesn't seem like that to him at times. But like I said, he welcomed the opportunity to step into this new role and lead this team, and he has been doing a great job, according to Coach Banks, all year long at that.
Had a clock issue, and now they have fixed the shot clock to 27, and now they want to make sure our officiating crew blew the whistle to stop play. Now they're making sure the ball is inbounded in the correct position. It should not have been where it was going to be. Middleton gets the long pass.
Great decision by Jackson State, just being nice and poised and under control, not rushing anything. This is how Jackson State started the game and got off to such a really good start.
A double-team Roscoe and forced what was nearly an errant pass. Now there is 11 to shoot for the Tigers. See Specs heads to the other end of the court, kind of playing safety in case they have nothing else. And in fact, that was the intention all along.
They wanted to get Specs in an isolation situation.
Collins with 5 to shoot, missed everything, and the rebound goes to Southern. Banks feeling a little bit. And Middleton knocks the rebound over to Roscoe. Here's Collins, one-on-one, makes the big step, shot blocked again. Collins shaken up, he's had one hard hit, and we're gonna get a whistle and a foul as Collins is slow to get up.
Well, we got a late whistle, but it appears that Collins is okay.
Again, he takes a hard fall. Jared Sam is going to be hit with a foul. We'll take a look at it.
Nice in and out move by Collins, taking the ball strong to the basket. There's definitely some contact there.
I just think the call should have come earlier. I agree with the call.
I agree.
But you got to call it.
Call it right as it happened. I agree.
Collins will hit the free throw. So that's on Sam, and that will be just his first.
That's something that Sam has to watch out. He's a little bit of a foul prone, a guy that picks up fouls rapidly, and he's definitely needed in the ball game.
Look out here, some sloppy passing by Southern, and Dennis will miss the finish. Look out, he almost went into the stand where they sell pasta and jambalaya together here.
Well, you see there's no letting up by both teams. Great job by just being active, getting your hands out in the passing lane, and then nice attack by Dennis, going strong to the basket.
Prudhomme hit with his second foul.
If you don't believe these two teams understand the ramification of coming out of tonight with this victory, then you're not watching the same game that we are.
Well, we've talked about it from the beginning, and we'll continue to talk about it because the movement of the standings on Saturdays and Mondays in the SWAC is critical, particularly among those top 5 teams. Coaches know it, players know it. Southern sits at 6-4. And Jackson State among a group of 5-5. Little contact there. Roscoe will get hit with a foul.
Roscoe a little late on the defensive rotation.
Well, they gave that foul to Middleton. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought Roscoe was the defender there. Here's what we've been talking about. Everybody chasing Mike Davis's team at 9-1. Alcorn looking good at 7-3. Southern trying to separate themselves from Grambling, whom they beat on Saturday. Tonight's opponent, Jackson State, and there's Prairie View also.
Well, in my opinion, I think teams 2 through probably 6 are pretty much the same teams. I mean, they're teams that are just kind of beating up on each other. It's just a matter of who has the home court advantage going down the stretch. All of these teams play extremely well at home. It's very, very difficult to win on the road in the SWAC conference, and Coach Brent knows that.
So Roscoe checks out of the game. I believe they have switched the foul call to Roscoe instead of Middleton, which is the correct thing to do.
And as I was mentioning, Coach Brent really knows the importance of trying to get this win on the road. It's very, very tough to win on the road in the SWAC.
Yeah, 4. Okay, should be on 4. They're looking to see, now one of the officials, Bharat Ramanan, came over to explain they're looking to see who it should be on. I think it's on Roscoe. Here he is.
100%. I mean, Middleton wasn't even involved in the play. Roscoe made the contact there on Collins, and rightfully so. Good job by the officials making sure they got it right.
And that's 2 on Roscoe. He'll go to the bench. Middleton will stay in the game to rebound on this foul shot. And it's good. So a 5-point lead for Southern. They led by 3 at the half.
A little token pressure defense by Southern, just trying to mix things up, confuse Jackson State a bit.
Entry pass, run down by Dennis, but thrown away. By Rivers, I should say. In traffic, shot blocked by Rivers, out of bounds, 20 to shoot.
What I would say to both teams right now, coaches, slow down a bit. Both teams are moving just a little bit too quick on the offensive end.
I think the intensity is there, but it has affected the execution a little bit.
Absolutely.
In traffic, got on the roll on the rim. Chris Thomas, a junior from here in Baton Rouge.
Thomas continued to play well, picking up where he left off in the first half.
And Jackson State calls a timeout. 15:54 remaining. Southern has matched their 7-0 start of the game with a 7-point lead on that layup by the junior.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2017 John R. Wooden Player of the Year, and Mazda, driving matters.
We welcome you back to Big Monday, presented by eBay as part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. And we're in the SWAC tonight, 48-41 in Baton Rouge. A home game for Southern against their rivals from Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson State. We talked about SWAC history. This is an easy graphic to put together. You only need to worry about two teams.
It seemed that way for the last 4 years. Texas Southern or Southern has been dominating when it comes to championships, and Jackson State is trying their best to break into that column.
Back and forth those two have gone for that NCAA berth. Take a look at Roman Banks. One conference championship in the regular season, and that was the year they didn't go to the tournament. It seems like sometimes winning the regular season isn't going to be a harbinger of going on to the NCAAs.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, each night you step on the floor, you got to bring your A game, because you never know what can happen in this conference.
Jackson State trying to rally from 7 down. They've said it once before, right at the top of our game. Collins in traffic, tried to dish to Middleton. The pass came out slightly deflected and undercooked. And Middleton could not hang on, and we will step aside. Southern up 7, 15:35 to go.
Yeah, doubleheader night. East Coast, West Coast. But which is the best coast? In the East, one of sports' greatest rivalries. But then there's the edge of your seat, West Coast. You know what? Don't worry. You don't have to choose. We're going coast to coast, baby. 'Cause we gon' blow your mind.
So Joey Brackets has released this, and Louisville and Virginia met tonight, and the Cavaliers dominated the game, 71-55. They doubled the rebound total on Louisville, so this all may be changing a little bit. And of course, Duke, North Carolina this week is going to have an impact on that. And Georgia Tech listed there its first 4 out, with Clemson and the Hurricanes kind of grasping at the 11th seed.
Well, there's so many teams in the ACC playing extremely well right now, and as you saw, Virginia knocked off Louisville tonight, and
as they've been doing a lot lately.
Yeah, exactly right.
3 ball. Every once in a while, Traylon Banks just takes a self-heat check. Off balance, difficult shot, and Jared Sam off the glass. Largest lead for Southern.
Great job by Sam, just positioning himself for that offensive rebound. And that's an area that they have struggled with all year long, and even tonight.
Well, Jackson State was a dominant team on the offensive glass in the first half. That's a very difficult shot. Score the basket, and Dennis will go to the line.
Tough shot by Dennis the Menace. This is a guy that loves to mix things up. He can hurt you from the outside, but he definitely can attack strong and hurt you from the interior. Nice athletic move, tough shot.
I don't even know if he saw it go in. LaQuentin Collins will be hit with a foul number 1. That's his second.
It's Jackson State leading scorer. He had a tough go at it early on, didn't get going for probably half of the half, but he's being very effective now.
Number 4 in the conference in scoring, but he could not complete the 3-point play. And Jackson State in this half has had 5 free throws, and they've only made 1 of them.
You want to step up to the line and knock down your free throws, especially on the road. Every opportunity counts. Great drive by Chris Thomas.
Nice little crossover dribble he used there, too.
I mean, he really has it going. He had it going from the onset, and he's continuing where he left off in the second half.
Specs left open for 3. Yetra Specs.
Yetra was the guy when they were in Jackson State that hit the big 3 toward the end of the game that pretty much sealed the deal for them. They just had to finish the game off with a few free throws.
That ended a run of 9 missed threes, and then countering is Chris Thomas from the corner.
That was a little bit of saying anything you do, I can do better, because Chris Thomas has it going on. He's red hot.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul. It looks like I think Thomas slapped the arm of Middleton here. So we go back-to-back threes.
Nice drive baseline to set up Specs for a wide open three. And then on the other end, Thomas said, wait a minute, I'm feeling good. It's my house. Take that.
Second foul on Chris Thomas. We have nobody with 3 fouls at the moment. A lot of players with 2, but no one with 3. Specs blows by everybody to lay it in.
Way too easy. Where was the defense for Southern? No one rotated over to stop the basketball. The basketball is the most important thing on the court. How could you lose Yetro Specs out of all people with the basketball at Southern?
Pull up 3, Thomas. Tapped around, control. There's an offensive rebound by Sam. Middle left open, tough drive, contact, and a foul will go against Jackson State.
Nice job by Specs, just surveying the floor. Then all of a sudden he sees a lane open up and just drives it home. Where was the defense for Southern?
Derek Roscoe is the first player with 3 fouls. Free throw shooting's been the exact opposite. While Jackson State has been poor from the line in this half, Southern has been very good. 7-7.
You're exactly right. They've been doing a great job, and up until that point, they hadn't missed a free throw.
Yep, 7 of 8, 1 out of 5 in comparison. So that's 6 points in the Southern column that Jackson State has not been able to match. 3-point Southern halftime lead has grown to as large as 9 and is now 8.
Very crucial possession for Jackson State. They need to get a basket on this trip.
They need to hurry up. Specs with 4 on the clock. He'll draw a 3-shot foul. That's the second time that has happened in our game tonight. And that'll be Chris Thomas hit with that. And that'll put him in the 3-foul club.
Bad foul by Thomas. Great job of just trying to contest the shot, but he just got into Specs' body a little bit.
Yeah, that's just the wrong angle to take at a guy.
You're exactly right.
Specs, top free throw shooter in the conference at 84% coming into the game.
And as I mentioned, Specs has much improved. He may be one of the most improved players in the conference this year.
Yeah, I just missed that one badly. Also mentioned he leads the conference not just in free throws, but in minutes played with 36. And he's played 27 tonight.
Jackson State has left a lot of points on the table at the free throw line.
They are 3 of 9 from the line. And Specs has scored the last 7 for the Tigers.
Even saying that, they still find themselves in the ball game, and they're only 2 possessions away.
Shoulder in, drive a little bit short, and the rebound knocked out of bounds. I think it was off of Jared Sam, and it was. So it'll be Jackson State ball, 12:23 remaining. Like the turnover calmed down a little bit too.
It has. Both teams are doing a better job of executing in the half court.
Foul line jumper, Middleton, all over the rim and the glass, and doesn't go.
Wide open shot, and that's his spot. I mean, he can knock down the little 15-footer on a consistent basis. Just tough go at it that time.
Tough move. Off the glass, Banks, graceful shot. He has 10. And an ungraceful shot, but it's going to be Paris Collins going to the line, no matter how pretty it was not.
The MVP from the championship game a year ago is trying to carry Southern to a victory tonight versus Jackson State.
Thursday, ESPN is a big-time rivalry week doubleheader starting at 8 with the latest battle for Tobacco Road. 8th-ranked North Carolina, number 18 Duke. Then at 10 o'clock Eastern, Oregon, number 5, and UCLA, number 10. Both Sonic Blockbuster games streaming live on our app and on Watch ESPN. Now, big foul against that man right there, number 4, Chris Thomas. Leading scorer of the night for Southern with 17, and he has 4 fouls.
Well, Mr. Reliable has done it again. So far, he's gotten off to a great start, knocking down James from the outside, being able to penetrate and break down the defense on the interior. The MVP from the championship game, understanding that his time is now, being a senior, and he wants to go out with a bang.
He could be on his way to a double-double with those assists at 6 already with 11:45 remaining as Collins walks the free throw across the rim and in. He has 10. Little pressure here, and Southern able to break it. Jamarcus Weatherspoon, 22 into the game now for Southern. Traylon Banks, second into the conference in minutes. Doubtful he's going to be coming out anytime soon. Tough shot. Tapped out, and Banks was waiting.
Great job by Jackson State on the defensive side.
And good patience shown that time by Southern. Passed up a difficult 3 to reset the offense.
I will say both teams goes in and out from showing that type of level of patience.
That's a charge drawn by Middleton, and it's going to go against Banks. And Middleton has thrown his body, or had his body knocked around quite a bit.
He sure has, but that was another play that we've had where I didn't think that the player completely got there and had his feet set, but the official saw it another way, and if you're Jackson State, you're okay with that.
That's Banks' first foul, 6th turnover against Southern. That is all. That's a good pace. Just under 11 minutes remaining in our game.
Great sign for Texas Southern. Southern. That's something that they definitely want to do and improve on, and they have done a great job this game.
Emmanuel Shepard with the 8th block shot of the night for the Jaguars, and here we go in the break. Double team, grab from behind. And if that's on Roscoe, that's 4. It is.
We got a couple guys now getting in foul trouble. Having a little bit of trouble, and you know, when you have to start going to your bench, especially Jackson State, you have to wonder where you're going to get production from.
6 scholarship players available tonight for Jackson State. There's a slight block shot by Dennis, but it's going to be out of bounds and belongs to Southern. 27 to shoot. Roscoe a little frustrated with his 4th foul. Does have 7 rebounds.
And rightfully so. I mean, Roscoe has done a really good job of being active tonight and being big.
And that's out of bounds off of Southern.
He's another one of those guys that Jackson State relies on to bring energy and effort, along with Paris College.
Rivers into the game now. Back out. Specs is left open again, and you leave him open, he will make you pay.
One guy on the floor that you want to know where at all times, and that's Jetro Specs.
18 points. Sam almost had it stolen by Specs.
Great defense by Jackson State, just harassing everything.
Sam, tough pass, Weatherspoon. Ooh, Maurice Rivers did not like that call at all. He gave the official a stare. He thought he had a clean block.
Another tough call.
That is 3 on Rivers. Let's see.
Well, great find, first of all, by Sam. And I don't know if I agree with that call as well, partner. I mean, there's been some calls that I didn't see it the same way.
Well, Maurice Rivers agrees with you as Middleton checks out and going to the game, Javaris Brent, number 15.
But I want everybody to keep in mind that I don't have the same angle as the officials.
Well, they are closer. We have the benefit of television screens sitting in front of us, and also a chance to look at it a couple of times. Free throw shooting continues to go very well for Southern.
And that's been the one constant tonight. And that's the reason why they have a 6-point lead. One of the reasons.
Ooh, my goodness, another block? That's 9. Almost thrown away there on a routine pass. Sam in traffic. Draws a double, a triple. Ball is still loose. Knocked out of bounds in front of us and belong to Jackson State.
Great hustle by Paris Collins again as he goes down on the sidelines. Nice job, never giving up on the play is Mr. Collins. I mean, that's Mr. Hustle.
Southern just can't quite put Jackson State away. Offensive rebound, good opportunity, missed that time by Rivers. We have not had a double-digit lead in this game from either team. But we're going to get close to 8 here. Oh, that's perfect basketball.
Excellent ball moving by Southern. The ball never touched the ground.
Their best possession. See if Jackson State tries to work it so Specs gets open again for 3. He was open in the corner, and Rivers draws a foul.
Nice ball moving by Southern. The ball touching the ground with minimal dribbles and great backdoor cut for the slam for Emmanuel Shepard.
Yeah, well, he just got caught with his second foul.
Yeah.
So Rivers will go to the line. Not even close on that one. He had made his first 4 free throws. They're now 4 out of 11 in this half in free throws, while Southern is 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Collins, Paris Collins checks out of the game for Jackson State.
Well, tonight it seems like that's been a good thing when Jackson State goes to the line for Southern because they have not been able to make free throws.
7-point game. Southern 6-4 in the SWAC. Jackson State 5-5, and they have a game in hand on Southern after beating them in January. At the top, Texas Southern 9-1. We're going to get a reach-in foul here on Brent.
Great court awareness by Traylon Banks, understanding that Jared had a mismatch with Brent trying to guard him.
And Brent, that's his first foul. Sam at the line, 4 for 4.
As I mentioned, he's a much improved free throw shooter this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's 15 free throws and 20 attempts for Southern. 9 out of 16 for Jackson State. And Sam is 6 for 6 from the line, giving him 10 points.
There's no need for Jackson State to start panicking or anything. There's still a lot of time in this basketball game. Great drive by Yetur Specs yet again to get all the way to the basket for the deuce.
He pretty much went 1 against 3 that time to get that. He gives him 20. Oh, Sam's got a chance. He stopped short of Middleton. Oh, my goodness!
Oh, what an athletic move by Sean Prudhomme. That'll definitely get you out of your seats.
With 5 on this clock, Specs misses the 3. Offensive rebound, Middleton taken away. Sam has it. And he's had enough dribbling. Gives it to Banks. Sam, the man on the spot again, tried to go underneath and feed it to Shepard, but Sean Prudhomme lit it up here in Baton Rouge.
A great cut by Sam. Off the rim and at the right place at the right time. Sean Prudhomme skying in for the 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by eBay. Find new, unique, and everything in between on eBay. And in part by the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere.
NBA Wednesday has ESPN. The coast-to-coast twin bill starting at 8 Eastern when the Garden of the Clippers face the Knicks. Then at 10:30, the Chicago Bulls take on the Warriors at Oracle Arena in Oakland. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off with NBA Countdown charged by Mountain Dew. Catch it live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. We just hope you were watching when Sean Prudhomme electrified the gym. So here's what's going on around the SWAC. Alcorn State defeats Grambling 75-65, so the rich get a little bit richer in that one. Arkansas Pine Bluff takes down Alabama A&M, and Alabama State tangling with the Delta Devils, and Alabama State with a 5-point advantage there. But Alcorn, that's a big win for them as they get a little closer to the top and a little closer to securing a top 4 berth.
Well, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. Continue to pile up the wins, continue to try to separate themselves from the rest of the bunch.
20 to shoot off this inbound. Here's Sam. Drew a quick double, now one-on-one against Middleton. Now he put the ball on the floor. That invited the defense. That invites Jackson State to have a jump ball, and they have the possession arrow.
Another big-time hustle play by Paris Collins. And this guy is relentless in his effort.
He's been all over the field, the court, I should say. He's been all over the floor, literally. He's been into the sidelines. He separated you from a soda earlier today. Fortunately, your handsome wardrobe was not damaged. He has taken some hard hits and just continues to play. And he is not 100% healthy either.
No, he's not, but he only knows one way, and that's all out.
He has the ball now. Dennis will fire a 3-ball. Barely shaded the rim, and that's just a totally unnecessary foul by Rivers. He knows it was an accident, but it's still going to be a foul, and we're going to go down on the other end of the line where Southern is shooting well better than they do normally.
Not the best of shots for Jackson State, but then Rivers just finds himself a little bit out of control. More so, it's just momentum just carried him into Traylon Banks, and Banks is the recipient.
That is a 4th foul now on Maurice Rivers. I mentioned the free throw shooting. Southern is a 67% free throw shooting team normally. Tonight, they are 17 of 22 as a team. That's better than 76%. And in the half, they're 12 of 13.
They've been doing a great job, and they understand that down the stretch, it's going to come down to free throws. So, I mean, if you're getting the calls and you get an opportunity to step up to the line, why not knock it down?
Oh, good anticipation and the steal that time by Prudhomme. Southern with a double-digit lead for the first time tonight, up 11. Face-up jumper by Emmanuel Shepard. Very effective player off the bench tonight for Roman Banks.
And that's definitely part of his game. That little mid-range game is something that he excels in.
Collins misses. Middleton got a hand on it, but Sam cleans it up. Oh, they tried the crazy alley-oop, and we're going to get a foul against Southern. We're going to the other end. And a little slow to get up is Traylon Banks, but now he's going to try to walk it off.
A nice aggressive move by Traylon, just getting to the hole and trying to set up Prudhomme for another rim-rocking dunk.
The guy in the background really wanted it. That's for sure. The guy came up off the bench in the T-shirt there. And you know what? Banks is going to take a second to get himself together. Took a hard fall on that play after the pass. On the other end, we go to Maurice Rivers at the line.
Well, if you're training, you want to make sure that you're playing the right way, staying aggressive. But, we had a saying back when I was playing that you want to keep it simple. That is stupid. So you got a little bit out of control.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly.
Rivers hits 2. Fouls on Sam, by the way. He has 2 fouls. Now a little ball pressure here from Jackson State. See the free throw difference favoring Southern tonight. They've been deadly accurate. Pass to no one.
Well, that's something Southern hasn't committed a lot of tonight, and that's turnovers. They've been doing pretty good in that column.
Off to your right-hand corner there. That's the updated SWAC standings reflecting Alcorn's win tonight. There you see Southern 6-4 and Jackson at 5-5. And again, the bottom two teams in the SWAC do not go to the conference tournament. The top four will host the quarterfinals. Then the semis and the finals are in Houston. And a nice execution that time by the Tigers for Dennis to get the lay-in. And it's down to a 9-point deficit.
Great pass by Rivers and great cut by Dennis.
Starting to see a little bit more of this now. Picking up half-court pressure. Collins knocks it loose. And we're going to get a whistle. Let's see who this is on. It's going to go against Southern and against Ganaway as once again Paris Collins is down. Just a standing 8 count though. He'll be fine.
Active hands on the defensive end, and then Collins getting tangled up with Ganaway. And boy, he's having a tough night, but that's nothing unusual for him. I mean, he comes out and he plays hard and he throws his body around, and like I said, he's Mr. Hustle. He's going to give you 100% effort, if nothing else.
Well, on the bus back to Jackson, you might want not to sit next to him. Give him room for all the ice bags he's going to need.
You're exactly right. You should need a few of those.
From the line, he's 3 out of 6 tonight. Jackson State just refusing to go away. Southern got it up to 11. It's now been shaved to 8.
No, Jackson State is still hanging around this basketball game. Southern has not been able to put them away as of yet, but they've been really good, really patient on the offensive side as Sean Houdon steps up and knocks down a big 3.
So he can go over the rim to score, and he can step back and score. And something else that's happening for Southern's benefit, they're stealing some time with Banks on the bench, recovering from that little bit of a fall. He's sitting in the head coach's seat. There's a beautiful shot there. So it looks like he should be able to come back in the game maybe after the next timeout. So the fact that Southern can maintain their lead with Banks on the bench is huge.
Well, you're exactly right. But to your point about Sean, I mean, he's the guy who can do a variety of things, and he has done that all year long. So it's not surprising to see.
So we will step aside. Southern up by 9. 3:59 remaining in a critical SWAC matchup. .359 remaining here in Baton Rouge. Southern and Jackson State, part of Rivalry Week. Brought to you by eBay, presented by Wendy's. We talk about Paris Collins. He has sacrificed his body tonight.
To say the least, I mean, he's been everywhere, diving after loose balls, running into the scorer's table, driving strong to the basket, getting knocked down. But it seems that he always gets back up and continues to give it that same effort. There he goes down yet again.
I chuckle because thankfully he's okay. I mean, we can chuckle a little bit because he's bounced back up. Still has a spring in his step, more than most people would after what he's gone through tonight. Critical stretch now, the final 3:59 remaining. Southern trying to go pick up a 7th conference win and grab 3rd place in the SWAC and hang on to it. Collins to Rivers. Contested. Collins missed the putback, but Middleton puts it in.
3 tries at the basket. You're bound to come up with the score. Great job by Jackson State, just not giving up on the play, and poor job by Southern getting back in transition.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a coaching point when they look at the videotape of this game as that rolls around in for Jared Sam. I can't imagine Roman Banks is thrilled with the effort here.
You're exactly right. You definitely have to get back in transition, but you want to close this game out strong. You don't want to give Jackson State any hope that they can win this basketball game tonight.
3 ball. Get back and another offensive rebound, and it's Middleton again.
Jackson State has dominated the offensive boards tonight.
Middleton with 10. And a steal. Specs. Oh, you leave him open every time. And a timeout called here by the Tigers. Specs with 23, and suddenly that 11-point lead at one point is down to 4.
One nice aggressive drive by Collins, and then tipped in by Middleton for the offensive rebound. And then yet again, another offensive rebound, not boxing out for Southern. And then, mama, there goes that man again. Yetur Specs knocking down yet another 3.
Jackson State, 15 offensive rebounds tonight. So while they have been deficient in the free throw game compared to Southern, they're winning that battle, and Middleton has been key with a couple of putbacks off of misses.
Definitely a big-time positive for Jackson State. If they can get someone on the inside to contribute, and tonight they have got Middleton to contribute and Roscoe as well.
It's a good ball game here in Baton Rouge with a lot at stake. We'll see how Southern finishes. Banks back in the game for the Jaguars.
I just find it very odd that Southern could lose where Specs is. Specs is the same guy who knocked down the big 3 in the first game this year to help win the game for Jackson State.
And when he is open, he has not missed.
He's been lights out.
And he's all over the floor right now trying to steal the ball. And Southern with some good ball movement, and they have to have good ball movement or they're going to lose the ball. And now we're down to 9 to shoot. And that's not where Sam's going to be shooting from. 5 to shoot. 3 to shoot. Oh, a bailout call. Oh, a bailout call. Now, is this going to be a 3-shotter? I could not see where the feet were of the player fouled.
Well, great defense by Specs, and he just got caught reaching in. It's a little bit of a judgment call, but it's clear that Sean was behind the three-point line, so he should be shooting 3.
I'd love to see that one again, as the officials are taking a look at it too, to make sure that it's either a 2 or a 3. I just wonder, I mean, it's a foul. It doesn't matter if I think he touched him or not. Well, oh, yeah, he hacked him.
Great use of escape dribble by Sean, and just a little over-aggressive by Yetur, and got called for the reach-in.
And he will be shooting 3.
With a better look there, it's definitely clearly a foul as he tried to rip the ball away from Prudhomme.
Well, this is where Southern has been glorious tonight. Well, Prudhomme maybe not, but he's up to 3 out of 6.
As a team, they've done extremely well from the foul line, and that's something that Coach Banks can be pleased with. But I know one thing that he won't be pleased with is allowing Jackson State to continue to get on the offensive boards.
2 for 2 so far. 15 of 16 in this half for Southern on the line.
And Coach Brandt, he knows that his team has been in this situation well too often this year.
It was unbelievable. 16 of 17 from the foul line in this half. Tough shot. Down. Another offensive rebound, this time by Maurice Rivers. That's 16 offensive rebounds for Jackson State, and it's kept them in the game.
Box out, box out, box out. I guarantee you that's something that's going to be on the board for Southern the next practice.
Even if Southern hangs on and wins this game, it's going to be a tough video session with the players tomorrow.
Oh, most definitely.
Tough fadeaway, Prudhomme.
Big time shot by Sean Prudhomme.
Rivers left open in traffic, off and good. 81-75, 90 seconds remaining.
Well, quietly, Rivers is having himself a nice ball game just by staying active.
Collins almost got that pass. He's in the lane again. Good pass there. And Middleton got a piece of the shooter.
Well, Prudhomme has been getting more involved, and there you see he just raises up, feeling confident, and knocks down the big time 3.
Well, he is a 41% three-point shooter, so he should have plenty of confidence. He came into the game with 58 made threes.
Well, he got off to a very slow start,
yes,
but as you can see, he's 2 points above his average with 19.
again. Southern just remarkable at the line tonight. 81.5, almost 82% is their season high, and they're at 81.6 right now. 81.8 is the season high, and they may better that, and they do not. Still in range, however, for the Tigers. Collins, he'll try a three. It came off the hand a little funny, and instead of a second chance, rebound snatched out of the air by Banks, and he's fouled by Rivers.
Well, you know what I like about that play? You had one of the smallest guys on the floor, but also the leader for this Southern team, taking it upon himself to go down, mix it up with the bigs, and come up with a big rebound.
Rivers is fouled out of the game. That'll bring Javaris Brent in. And Rivers leaves with a 15-5 night for the junior from Atlanta, who once played at Rice University.
Positive sign for Jackson State to see Rivers be able to come in the game and do so well. Hopefully he can continue this as the season moves forward.
He did all that damage in 19 minutes.
That's because he was extremely active. That's what I mentioned. He was so active on the boards that he was scoring at will.
13 for Traylon Banks. That goes with 6 assists and 7 rebounds. A tidy night for Banks. Now he has 14. Specs turned it over.
He's been a little bit too aggressive and kind of dribbled himself into trouble. Yetur Specs.
I would think now, if you're Jackson State, you got to start hacking people the second they get the ball if you want to have any chance at all.
Well, you want to try to, exactly right, you want to try to stretch this game out a little bit, but you also want to make sure on the offensive side that you're taking advantage of your opportunities.
And Banks drew a whistle that time, being very aggressive. With 48 seconds to go, we'll trudge to the line again.
Rightfully so. There should be no give up or let down if you're Southern. You should continue to attack and be aggressive. And when you do that, you're probably going to get the benefit of the doubt and get the call. And if you get to the line somewhere where you've been excelling tonight and doing extremely well, that's a plus.
Banks 8 of 9 from the line, gives him 15. And for Wayne Brent, his team on the verge of going to 5-6 in conference play. Still plenty of time to recover and finish strong. Free ball, Dennis, no good.
Well, Jackson State has played hard tonight. They just haven't been able to knock down shots on a consistent basis.
So let's take a look ahead for Roman Banks and the Jaguars first. They hit the road to Pine Bluff on Saturday. Then they'll take on the Delta Devils the day before Valentine's. Then home for 3, A&M, Alabama State, and that's a big game, February 25th.
You're exactly right, but it's at home, and it's always good to be at home in front of your home crowd, wake up in your own bed and get some good food, so they should be okay.
Yeah, good food in this town is not hard to find.
As Coach Banks looks on, he'll take the win, but there's a ton of things that he's going to have to talk about when they go to the drawing table.
This is just crazy. 22 out of 24 from the line. It's 91.7% in this half. Make it 23 of 25 with that one made. 82.4. And that's the most free throws they've made this year. 28 out of 34. And no need to foul anymore. Jackson State will go to 5-6. Southern 7-4 in conference play. Big win at home for the Jaguars.
Statement game for Southern Jaguars. And Jackson State is a tough loss, but I'm sure they'll rebound.
Well, Roman Banks told us today, I think my guys recognize the importance of this game and I need intensity out of them, and they got it with the win for Southern. That is going to do it from Baton Rouge. Coming up next, SEC story, Shaq and Dale. For Gerard Ward and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave Lamont saying good night from Baton Rouge.